Right, so I'm going to use this from um, last term, and this is the endless runner section. So um, first things first, we're going to come in and we've already exported our high and our low, so we don't need to do that. So I'm going to find our low poly asset that we exported. And in my case, it's here. And I'm going to drag that into a mesh folder in Unity. I am then going to come into our materials and I'm going to extract the materials. I'm going to extract that to a materials folder. Okay, so we now have, if I just drag our asset out here, there we go. Just delete that and delete this. And so we've got our dice here. Let's get our textures in. So I'm going to go File, Export Textures. We are going to find our output directory. So let's just, for now, I'll put it in here for me. And I want to come to output template. And I want to come down to Universal Render Pipeline Metal. So this metallic standard will be dependent on what your render pipeline is in Unity. However, I'm pretty sure you're going to be using PBR1, so just use that for now. And this here, we can drag and drop things into here, and that will create new textures for us, but we don't particularly need to do that right now, so we're going to use this one here as that is fine for us, and that's it. We're just going to hit export. Okay, now I'm going to open Unity, and now it's exported a bunch of stuff into here. Let's just go into large icons. Now our dice doesn't have an emissive map, so we don't need that. It doesn't have a height map. It doesn't have a metallic map, so we don't need it, as it'll just be black anyway. So we can take these, we can drag them into materials, and then we need to come into the material section where our textures are, and these would be in their own folder, hopefully. Now, when we select our normal, we need to come up here and we can go change this type to a normal map, and we'll hit apply. And what we're going to do is we're going to take this dice material and we're going to drag our textures into it. So this base color, we're going to put it in our base map. You can see it's now there. We're going to take our normal and we're going to put it into our normal map. And we're going to take our roughness and we're going to put it into our metallic map. Now, you might look at this and say, oh, there's some issues here, and I get used to that, by the way. The issue that we have here is that our normal map actually uses a flipped green channel. So we're going to come down to our normal map, we're going to come here and we're going to flip the green, come down here to apply, And there we go. We now have our dice in the game. Now, this is not a perfect bake and a perfect model. There's still things that we can tweak. There are still normals that we can tweak on the mesh. There are still a lot of little things we can do, but I suspect this will be quite overwhelming for a lot of people anyway. So I don't want to blast people's minds with it too much. So I'm going to leave it here for now, and be happy that we've got our object in here with normal maps and everything else on there. So yeah, nice one.